Hey yo, football fans, it's another great year. Fantasy football fiends, grab your beer. Giving you the best draft tips for all your picks. Starts and sits to the waiver wire fix. From mock drafts galore to stats that's hardcore. Triple F does it all, have y'all screaming more. So sit back, relax, let the experts prevail. JT Magnum, Siggy Guns never fail. What's up, fantasy football fans? My name is JT Magnum here along with Siggy Guns. Welcome back to Fantasy Football Fiends. We're talking about our rankings now, the top 30 running backs in our rankings. And we're going to talk about, these are huge because everybody always has different rankings. Everybody always has, different, who they like or who they think is going to be good and everything. So let's get into it. Number 30 through 21. I have Derrick Henry, Duke Johnson Jr., Melvin Gordon, D'Angelo Williams, Rashad Jennings, TJ Yeldon, Matt Jones, Jeremy Langford, Ryan Mathews, and Matt Forte at number 21. And I'll talk about Ryan Mathews. This is a guy that I get scared of half the time in fantasy drafts, and I normally stay away from. But he's had a great preseason so far. He had a great end of the season last year, pretty much. But he's just one of those guys that he's so good when he's in, but he gets so injured all the time, and you just never know when you're gonna get that Ryan Mathews that gets injured. But when he's in, he's very productive. He can be very productive. It's just trying to keep him healthy. And Philadelphia has a couple backs in Wendell Smallwood now. And I forgot what the other one's name is, but still the point is they got a couple backs now to spell him, and hopefully they can keep Ryan Mathews healthy, being that he is the main back right now. And he's good because he can catch balls out of the backfield. He can do a lot of things. They still have, of course, Darren Sproles. So there's a lot of things that they can do. I think they still have Darren Sproles, but there's a lot of things there's a lot of things that he can do out of the backfield along with running and catching. So I really like, especially in PPR too. He's a good back for PPR sometimes, but the point is that the thing with him is he just gets injured. But I don't know. That's who I like for at 22 where I have him. So who do you got?
I got Jay Ajayi. Is that how you say it? Jay Ajayi? Duke Johnson, yeah. LeGarrette Blount, Justin Forsett, Chris Ivory, Ryan Mathews, Matt Jones, Jeremy Hill, Jeremy Langford, and Frank Gore. And I'll talk about LeGarrette Blount. Here's somebody on the Patriots offense that never really gets any recognition. Tom Brady's going to be out. A lot of the spotlight's going to be on Edelman and Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know how to say his name.
Jimmy Garoppolo,
yeah. But Blount, now that Dion Lewis is out for an even more significant time, everybody thought he was going to be back. He's going to be the workhorse, especially in the first 4 weeks. And he's somebody that the Patriots are not afraid to run with. Obviously, always go back to that one playoff game where he just tore it up unexpectedly. Everybody thought it was going to be, was it really at the time? And then Blount came out of nowhere and rumbled for 2 touchdowns and like 100 and something yards. And that's something that he could do at any time. And whenever they give him the ball, they just, with Bill's mind, he's always thinking of all kinds of different ways to beat a team. So you just never know when they're going to unleash him. But I think for the first 4 weeks especially, they're going to unleash him. And there's nobody else that could really take a threat away from a goal line, aside from Tom Brady every now and then running it in. But, as far as running it, I think he's going to be the guy for goal line carries. Obviously, I think Brady likes throwing to Gronk more, but I think this is somebody that's going to surprise a lot of people. That's why I have him in my top 30.
Yeah, from my 20 through 11, I have Latavius Murray, Frank Gore, Jeremy Hill, DeMarco Murray, C.J. Anderson, Carlos Hyde, Jonathan Stewart, Le'Veon Bell, Mark Ingram, and Le'Veon Bell's low only because he's missing 3 games. Mark Ingram at number 12, and number 11, LeSean McCoy. And I actually talk about LeSean McCoy. He's the man now at Buffalo. I mean, they got rid of Carlos Williams. They drafted another guy in Jonathan Williams, but he's a rookie, and LeSean McCoy is going to get nothing but more touches. And he's shown that if he can stay healthy as well, and he can do some work out of the backfield and catching as well. And I think he's got another year under his belt under that Greg Roman offense. They like to run the ball like crazy, a lot of zone scheme running in that Greg Roman offense, and I think he'll flourish in that. I think he's actually poised for one of those Philadelphia seasons where he broke out on the scene, and a lot of people he broke out fantasy-wise, especially on the scene, and I think he's going to have a lot of touchdowns receiving from Tyrod Taylor. He's going to help him a lot, and on top of that, he's going to have a lot of touchdown runs, a lot of long touchdown runs, because he's one of those guys that could break out. especially when he gets free, he's gone. I mean, there's nobody catching him really from the back. So
I agree. Mine 20 through, is it 11?
20 through 11, yeah.
DeMarco Murray, Arian Foster, Matt Forte, C.J. Anderson, Jonathan Stewart, Latavius Murray, Thomas Rawls, Carlos Hyde, Eddie Lacy, and Mark Ingram. Now I'm going to talk about C.J. Anderson. Obviously, everybody, including me, was frustrated in C.J. Anderson last year. Everybody had him as a top 10 running back. Everybody thought it was going to be his turn. Everybody thought with the Broncos offense that he should be, having a great season. And then, of course, he started off very, very slowly, 4 weeks of doing nothing. He then got everybody mad by saying, I'm not doing it for fantasy, and I hope you cut me. And I mean, it was a mess. But now, all of a sudden, now that he's not in the spotlight, I got a feeling with no quarterback. I mean, who's the starter now? Simeon?
Yeah,
I don't even know his
Trevor
name.
Simeon, yeah.
I mean, that offense looks like a mess, so they're going to have to rely on the running game. And C.J. Anderson is going to have looks. And the funny thing is, even with Peyton Manning, the offense really wasn't all that good in the air. So even Osweiler, I know he had, his little 15 minutes of fame, but they relied on that running game a lot. And C.J. Anderson actually picked it up the last few weeks of the season. So if you stuck it out or if you picked him up late, you were happy with his production. And I think they're going to have to rely on that this year. So he's actually a pretty good, solid pick. Just around, I have him as the 17th. I think, that's probably somewhere where he's been going on average draft position. And I think you're going to be surprised by the production you get out of that spot.
Yeah, I think I have him at 16. Yeah, just almost the same. From my 10 through 1, I have Eddie Lacy, Doug Martin, Jamal Charles, Thomas Rawls, Lamar Miller, Devonta Freeman, David Johnson, Ezekiel Elliott, Todd Gurley, and Adrian Peterson at number 1. And I'll talk about Thomas Rawls. A lot of people are low on him. A lot of people think that he's not going to get his due. And as far as I know, if he comes back healthy to Seattle, they run the ball. They're not gonna just all of a sudden pass the ball around all the time. Not that Bevel offense. They run the ball. They're gonna run the rock, and he's shown that he could be a workhorse. They have Christine Michael as well, but Christine Michael is spelling Rawls for now. And Rawls, I mean, like I said, if he stays healthy, he's gonna get a lot of yards. He had a lot of yards last year before he got hurt. The dude can run. He's really hard to bring down. He's shifty. He's fast, and he's just like a smaller, tougher looking Marshawn Lynch. That's what it just seems like a shifty Marshawn Lynch. He's just a tough runner, and it makes me mad because I'm a 49ers fan as well. Like I've said this before in all these videos. Like I just get mad because I'm a 49ers fan. I gotta watch this guy run. He ran for like 200 yards against the 49ers. The guy is just a phenomenal back. I'm thinking he's gonna get a good 1,400 yards, maybe rushing this year, and he's probably gonna get around maybe 10 touchdowns.
Man. I had him as my bust, right? So that's that's a very bold prediction. Bold. I just don't see it happen, but we'll see though. We'll see. All right, so my 10 through 1. Doug Martin, LeSean McCoy, Jamal Charles, Devonta Freeman, Ezekiel Elliott, Lamar Miller, David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, and Adrian Peterson is number 1. And I'll talk about Freeman because I have him pretty low. I have him 7, considering that everybody else has him top 5, it seems, especially average draft position. I just think Freeman is going to have a very bad year. Freeman was somebody that everybody picked thinking he was going to be the star of the Falcons backfield, the primary back. And it didn't start off like that. It was Coleman. And a lot of people, including me actually, dropped him at the worst time. I think it was like week 4 or week 3. Everybody got sick of Freeman and they dropped him. And then all of a sudden Coleman got hurt and Freeman became the guy, for a good 4 or 5 solid weeks of amazing production to where people were excited. They thought, but then he slowed down. I don't know if anybody that stuck with him really liked his production during the playoff run of your fantasy league because he just disappeared. And I think that really was the real Freeman. I think he was somebody that came in at the right time. They played the right teams. So this expectation of him being super great, I just don't see it. And then on top of that, Coleman is healthy again. He beat him out before. I just think they're going to really see a split, true two-back kind of offense. And I think Freeman's production is not going to be anywhere near a top 5. He may be top 10 still. That's why I have him here, just because I think he's going to be expected to carry the load in the beginning. but it would not shock me if by the end of the season, this is somebody that everybody, like C.J. Anderson last year, that gets frustrated with and drops by week 4 or 5.
Yeah, I see that. All right, don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section. Let us know what you think of all our running back rankings. If you guys had anybody that you felt that should have been there, let us know. Let us know any feelings you have, any questions you might have in the upcoming draft about some running backs. Maybe we can answer them in the comment section. But anything you want to add before we go?
No, good luck with your fantasy leagues, and just be smart out there, especially if you're drafting people like Jamal Charles. If you have to pick him your first, make sure you get those backups like Spencer Ware and all that, because you got to be always wary of the backups.
Yeah. So for JT Magnum, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if you think about last year, specifically last year, everybody's running back that wound up doing good was pretty much a backup if you think about it. Thomas Rawls, Langford, Freeman, who was the guy that was spelling Anderson all that time in Denver?
Hillman.
And Hillman. I mean, man, everybody's team that won last year, it wasn't on the backs of, D'Angelo Williams, because Bell was gone. Johnson, when everybody thought Chris Johnson was the man. I mean, it seemed like every backup running back carried everybody's team last year. So that's the reason why, if you get stuck with a bunch of people, make sure that you get those backups, because they are very important, especially running backs in this league.
Yeah, definitely. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We're going to be out. JT Magnum, Siggy Guns, we're out. Peace.